Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Super B 1996 once again, and welcome to my new video series titled the Rising Phoenix Progress Report. Now, for those who remember, back in September I did a video called Let's Talk About Rising Phoenix 4, and that series was basically me talking about the new Rising Phoenix 4 trailer, and it's kind of something so I can talk about Rising Phoenix with everybody. And it's inspired by the ATR, which is done by Square Enix, the Active Time Report. So it just gives me a chance to talk to everybody about the game and just how it's progressing, and just to share announcements and stuff like that. So I know this is on my channel, and it will be on the Mystery Guest channel as well, who I will speak about in a second. But we are talking to you as developers from Grand Cosmic Soft today. So so stuff we're going to talk about today. We're going to be talking about the new trailer, which released about an hour ago, and just loads of other little stuff. And plus there is a little surprise in here about a particular thing called Rising Phoenix 4, the Overture, in a little while. But for now, I want to kind of introduce the new member for Grand Cosmic Soft. And he's going to be in this video today, and he's going to be talking about Rise of Phoenix 4 with me, so go and introduce yourself.
Hello guys, I am Aaron Rock. No, let me stop. It's Aliahsan. If you're already watching this on my channel, you're probably wondering who that guy is at the beginning. He is Super B. You've probably seen it on my channel, or you might have not. He's Super B. He's a close friend of mine. But yes, I am a part of Grand Cosmic Soft. That is Brad's company, or organization or group, where we develop Rising Phoenix, the series, and moving forward. So that's all I really need to say. I guess if you're watching this on my channel from Brad's point of view afterwards, you could sub or check out my Twitter or anything like that.
Sweet. Well, there we go. So it is Aliahsan. He is the new developer on Grand Cosmic Soft. There will hopefully be more in the future, and hopefully we'll be able to do more announcements like this in future episodes. But it's great to have him on the team. So now, before we jump into anything like big, we need you all to see the new Rise of Phoenix 4 trailer, so you can kind of get a grasp of what we're talking about today. So I'm going to display the new Rise of Phoenix 4 trailer in this video for you guys now. So you go ahead and watch that, and we'll see you again in a minute.
George, the boy gifted with the Phoenix power, ready to meet his match, Forgotten One, returning.
I am returning.
You took your time, George. How have you been keeping? Good, I assume.
Aaron Rock, I knew you was going to show up sooner or later. I know you're the one behind the end of Corneria prophecy.
That is nothing to do with me. I have a different agenda. I've already destroyed Corneria once. Why would I do it again?
Lies! Who else would be behind all of this?
Foolish, as always. Now leave me alone. You've already ruined my plans enough.
What do you know about the Council of Ignis?
Leave me alone, please.
I've come a long way, so I'm not going to ask again. What do you know about the Council of Ignis?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I know nothing of this Council of Ignis.
We all know that is a lie. So just tell me, Aaron Rock. No more lies.
I once told your father not to interfere. Maybe you should have done the same.
I was dragged into this a very long time ago. So just tell me.
They are chosen ones. They decide our fates. They decided mine a long time ago.
Who are you really? I can't match the pieces up. There's something you're not telling me.
Possibly, but we will speak another day, George.
gatherers, we will meet in the main room. Soon we will slaughter a prince, and I will become the original once more. I've been waiting 5 years for this day to come. I am ready.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that trailer. That trailer is kind of an extended version of the one which I released a couple months back. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It took a long time to put it together. But now, before we get into the video, I'm just going to give it over to Aliahsan, who's going to explain his role in Grand Cosmic Soft and what he's doing for Rise of Phoenix 4, etc. Go for it.
Yeah, thanks. So what do I really do at Grand Cosmic Games, and what's my role? As you already know, Brad, he's basically the head around this organization or group. Before me, I think it was just him and his friend. So his friend is still on board with us, but what I really do for the team. Basically, as of right now, I kind of help promote the game. I help in ideas, creativity, and stuff like that. I also help with enemy design, any graphic design really. If something needs to be done, Brad might hit me up, and I'll do whatever it takes to get the work done. Whether that's drawing something up, anything like that. But what I plan for the future, I honestly, like, me just being a part of this awesome development group, I really want to gain experience. That's all I want. I want to gain experience in coding, maybe even music composing, all of that stuff. I feel like that's just like my dream a little bit, a little subsidiary dream, and I think that's awesome. So I think that's all I really need to say. All the stuff I'm gonna do in the future: coding, maybe some game composing, and some graphic design, and maybe some sprites. Yeah, and I think this is my time to kind of display the Overture trailer, so please be hyped for that. Yeah, so have enjoy.
There are stories about my father, King Stephen. He was friends with Amarok, Cornelia's greatest threat. One day I found his diary. He was once connected to the Phoenix. Somehow he passed that power down to me. But where is he now? I still cannot find him. Even after all of these years of searching, my father is nowhere to be seen. But I'm still interested in learning about his past. My father was only a prince when he first met Aramrock, apparently. I wonder what happened between them after Aramrock went rogue. It would be so interesting to go back and just see how it all began between them two. Maybe the Council of Ignis might know more about my father's mysteries. Well, there's only one way to find out. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that Overture trailer that Aliahsan introduced. This trailer has been displayed before. It was first uploaded a couple weeks ago, but its significance will soon be, I don't know, shown in this video, I suppose, because we have a very important announcement regarding it. And plus, we actually need to explain what it is, because at the moment, all I've done is release a trailer. I haven't actually said anything about this yet, so that's going to be really exciting. So, yeah, let's segue into the next segment, which is talking about the release date for Rise of Phoenix 4. Do you want to go ahead with that?
Yeah, sure. So I'm pretty sure you kind of already confirmed this, either Twitter or via trailer, because I feel like I just know this game is still still confirmed for 2016. There hasn't been, like, actually, as of right now, I think we're on schedule, like, with coding and everything like that. Don't you agree, Brad?
Yeah, no, we're way on schedule at the moment. There have been a few minor problems, but at the moment, where we're sitting at the moment, I'm pretty happy with where the game stands. And I have actually got a release window in mind. and we're way on schedule to hit that release window. But more talks about that release window will be coming next year, obviously.
Exactly. So this game is still confirmed for 2016, and this is just like basically us giving you the benefit of the doubt. 2016 is confirmed. So I think we could just nicely segue into Rising Phoenix 4 launching on. Well, Brad, I feel like that's your thing. You should just announce it.
Yeah, so when Ryzen Phoenix 4 eventually does release, it will be launching on this website called itch.io. Now, it will be hopefully launching on the site if we have no problems, right? So if we have no problems, it will be coming up on the site. The reason why we're doing it on this site is kind of as a soft launch, so we can kind of see how the game does at first. Like, the first release date is just the first release date. There will be another release date planned for other things, which Aliahsan will go into details with in a minute. Little fun fact here: the itch.io owner, the owner of that website, hates my guts. So he's not going to be happy having my game on his site, but I don't really care about that. If you want to ask me about what all that business is about, just come contact me on Twitter or something. It's quite a funny story, actually. But Ryzen Phoenix 4 will launch on itch.io first in 2016. But yeah, this is a nice little bit to segue into the other bit of release news, if you want to go into that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Steam release being planned, what this basically means is that we are trying to aim for a release on Steam. As Brad said, we are first launching on itch.io. That does not mean we are not going to be, aiming to release on another platform, which probably is going to be Steam, of course. And just giving you the benefit of the doubt again, if it does very well on Steam, who's to say we can't publish on other platforms? Such. I'm not saying this is confirmed. I'm just giving you guys the benefit of the doubt. PlayStation, Microsoft platforms, and so forth. And yeah, so I just that story about itch.io, and that the creator of that site hating Brad's guts. Yeah, once again, contact him on Twitter, because I know I am, because I did not know that.
Yeah,
So
I should have explained that before we started this.
yeah, so Steam release planned. That's basically, if everything goes well on itch.io, we are definitely going to be aiming for a Steam release. This is one of those things that me and Brad kind of talk about creatively. As we know, there's some money involved with releasing on Steam, but we don't need to get into details in that right now. But right now we just need to segue into talking about the demo, the overture coming in. Brad, take it away.
Right, let's talk about the overture. Now, this is something that I've been looking forward to talking about, and I've saved it for this video exclusively to start talking about it. Ryzen Phoenix 4, the overture, is a Ryzen Phoenix 4 demo, and it is releasing obviously before the game, and it's really exciting. This is going to be a really exciting little mini project I'll be working on really soon. This is inspired by Final Fantasy in some ways, by how they handled with the Episode to Scale demo. This is kind of inspired by that. Plus, the whole point of this demo is to kind of test the waters on itch.io, and maybe just kind of see how, to kind of prepare me for the full launch of Ryzen Phoenix 4, because I don't know how this publishing stuff works properly yet. In the past, I've only ever published on websites and stuff like that, so I don't know what it's actually like to launch a full game on a website and how the pricing works and all that. So it's kind of a learning thing for me, but it is a demo. It is completely unique from the game. So what you play in the overture will not be in Ryzen Phoenix 4. Not all of the game's features, mind you, will be in the overture. The overture is just kind of 50% of the full game, in terms of its mechanics and whatnot. There will be around 4 levels packaged within the overture, 4 rather large levels, and you'll be playing as George's father, King Stephen, and possibly might be playing as Aaron Rock, the main antagonist. And this is possibly the oldest story that I've ever told in Ryzen Phoenix before. This goes right back to when the two were kids, so this tells the story of King Stephen and Aaron Rock, and it's kind of a prologue or prequel to Ryzen Phoenix 4 itself. But it is a demo. any feedback given in that demo will be going into the full game. So there's loads of reasons. Really, it's the best thing to release a demo. And the surprise about this is that I can actually announce a release date for this. And Rise and Phoenix 4 The Overture is currently planned to release on the 27th of May 2016. So you might be thinking, oh, that's quite a far bit away yet. Yeah, it is far away, but the good news is when that releases, Rise of Phoenix 4 will come soon after that, so maybe that can give you some kind of hint as to when you can expect the full game. But it is currently planned for May 27th. It could get delayed if I'm not quite happy with how the demo is, so be prepared for that. Delaying it isn't out of the question, but that is a planned release date. The Overture will only come out on whatchamacallit. It will only come out on itch.io. It won't come out on Steam or nothing like that. To be fair, it's only going to be like a half an hour length of game, so there's no point investing it onto other things because it's just to test the waters. But you never know in the future. So, yeah. So, do you want to segue into DLC? Because I'm out of breath.
Yes, that's fine, man. So DLC is a great segue from where we're coming from, because like when you think about it, the Overture is kind of the same kind of format we want DLC to be. And with DLC, I'm just gonna talk about it a little bit, and I'll kind of just pass it off to Brad because he knows way more about the DLC and the format and all that stuff. So right now, so DLC, I've been talking with Brad about talking about DLC with Brad for a while. So DLC, what are our plans for it? We are kind of planning for some aesthetic, microtransactions, of course, to support maybe Rising Phoenix. Like that's not really confirmed. It's still in the works, but if you guys if there's a demand for it, we're gonna put it in. Also another thing, there's gonna be we have like in the works, story expansions and such like that. Actually, I want Brad to kind of take it away from there because he knows a lot more about that and the revenue structure and how he wants that to be. So Brad, if you will.
Yes, sure. I may have already confirmed this in a past video, but the DLC will all be free at first. So maybe possibly the first few months after release, the DLC will be coming out free. So the plan is DLC will release at least once per month after it's released. So maybe I've got like a 6-month plan for the DLC, and the DLC is going to be these separate little stories, which they're only going to be like 4 or 3 levels long, kind of like Overture length, and you'll be able to play as different characters from the Rise of Phoenix universe. It may be intertwined with the Rise of Phoenix 4 story itself, or it could even be part of a past game story. So there's a lot of potential with this, and yeah, so that's currently the plans. DLC's already been planned. I've already got a title for one DLC pack at the moment. There's other forms of DLC in the works as well, such as like possibly free costumes, I suppose, for George. Some new game modes, lots of free stuff, which hopefully you guys will enjoy. Of course, not everything will be free after, like in the long stretch, but that will be something I can talk about in the future. But for now, DLC's already been planned, and yeah, it's gonna be really fun. So let me just quickly segue into another topic, and that is talking about. It's kind of going back to talking about the development of Rise of Phoenix 4 in general, but when we last spoke in the Let's Talk About Rise of Phoenix 4 video, I announced that Rise of Phoenix 4 was only 10% complete. And now I can confirm that after about 3 months, it is now 15% complete. Now, you're going to be looking at me saying, 15%, that's 5%. You're having a laugh. Bear with me. The first, I'd say, 30 to 40% of game development is always the toughest. It is always the slowest. Once we get past 20-30%, it's just going to go up fast. So I reckon around February, March time will be near 20%, and then when we hit 20%, it's just going to go up rapidly. But yeah, that is going to be fun. But yeah, it's 15% complete. Hopefully by January, February time, like I said, it'll be around 20%. But this will segue into the next section. So if you want to go into that.
Yeah, so in this segment, we're gonna be talking about some new concept arts and stuff. Just talking about it on my stance. I know I've been saying a lot. Let me stop that.
It's fine, I'll do it.
So I have actually talked to a bunch of people. That's actually one of the small roles I also do. I talk to as much people as I can, try to get them to help Rising Phoenix 4, trying to help Grand Cosmic Soft, as well as just talking to people and getting them on board and inspiring them, or just using their talents is just kind of what I do at YouTube in general. So that's kind of what I did with Modcast and everything like that. But focusing on Grand Cosmic Soft, I've been talking to people about doing some concept arts for Rising Phoenix 4 and everything like that. But I'm pretty sure Brad wants to go more in depth with that on his own stance and such. So Brad.
Yeah, sure. So, I'm not too sure what concept art I'm going to be able to show in this video. Right now, I will re-show, while we're talking, the concept art which I showed in the last video when I talked about Rise of Phoenix 4, which is the Initium Fields concept art, which is the level you saw in the trailer. Hopefully, I might be able to slide this into the video. I might have some new concept art of a few new levels, but at the moment, I'm currently working on new concept art and stuff like that. So, if I have anything new, I'll put it on the screen now. If I don't, I do apologise, but we'll have some more stuff a little bit later on in the next episode of the progress report. So kind of talking about concept art and stuff, I'm just going to quickly go into the new character designs. Since we last spoke about Horizon Phoenix 4, there wasn't too much. All we had was George sitting in that wonderful throne of his, which has very big importance on the story. I'm not going to spoil nothing. But over time, I've been displaying it on Twitter that some new character designs for past characters. For George, I'm probably going to pop him on the screen now. George has a very nice design. I'm really happy with how it came out. Yes, his legs look a bit chunky. I know that. I've had a lot of feedback about his legs. Okay, get off my back. So, in terms of his costume is inspired by... Actually, to be honest, it is definitely inspired by Sora from Kingdom Hearts, but mainly it's inspired because I've always liked the red and black theme for George. Red and black together just looks really nice. It's kind of a take of his Rising Phoenix 3 outfit, but with something completely new. I kind of mixed the two together. But hopefully I'll be able to show a concept art in the next one, because at the beginning of the game, George is actually in his Rising Phoenix 3 outfit, because... he will be coming out straight out of the events of Rise of Phoenix 3, so he'll be wearing his old attire, so that will be something I'm looking forward to showing. Next up is the Nexus concept art. Nexus has changed a bit. He is a lot more grown up. After everything that he's been through in the games, he's clearly just kind of made himself a bit more normal. He's still got his blue jacket, he likes his blue. There's actually some form of story significance to his outfit. Actually, to every little minor detail, there is a story significance. So, there's always a reason behind everything for me in Rise of Phoenix. So, why is George wearing those shoes? There's some significance to it, of course. So he pretty much, Nexus, it's very inspired by his original design. It is very alike to his original design. That's how I want it to look. He now has brown hair, as opposed to silver hair, which he had in the first two games. He had brown hair in Rise of Phoenix 3, but unfortunately, he played a very small part in Rise of Phoenix 3, so, yeah. Now, the next character I'm going to show off is Aaron Rock. Aaron Rock's design itself. He has changed a lot. Aaron Rock has got completely new design and stuff like that now. I think he looks really cool. I kind of wanted to go with some form of a commander kind of inspired art, so that's what I kind of went for here. Unfortunately, that's all I've really got to show in terms of character art. I have got some art ready now about, well, if you watch the trailer all the way to the end, you saw this mysterious Georgia lookalike, but unfortunately I'm not going to show it to you now because I'm a tease. So I do apologise for that, but I will show him off when I'm ready to show him off. I just haven't introduced this character yet, or it is a character you already know, but more on that at some point in the future. So do you kind of want to delve into some gameplay mechanics and stuff?
Yeah, like right before I get into like gameplay mechanics, just going back on the character designs. You know, we're still pretty early in development, so like if things look a little bit chunky, as Brad has said, we're updating it. We're really trying hard. We're polishing things constantly. So if it looks a little bit, it's because it's very early in
It's
development.
concept art.
It's
Really.
concept art, so it's only supposed to give you that kind of concept in mind. But we're working hard towards making it very, very polished towards the end of the game, final product. And like as we recruit more people and more people and people who help in sprites and all that cool jazz, we will be updating stuff as we go along. We are still pretty early in development. 15% is pretty early, so delving straight into gameplay mechanics. I could just kind of introduce some stuff that I've been kind of talking about and discuss with Brad, and then Brad could take the full reins on it because this is that's his department. That is his department. So gameplay mechanics, I guess we could kind of talk about um some progression systems. I guess would be pretty nice. Me and Brad discussed some things about going through the levels, obtaining certain things, maybe collectibles and such. And if you want, you could delve deep in that if you want, Brad.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless you want to be a tease.
Oh yes, of course. Well, I love being a tease. I love teasing people on in terms of my game development and even YouTube. But for gameplay mechanics, one thing I've really been trying to push out there is I'm not going to make no promises about a few things. Because this is my first venture into a fully proper game. Like, this is the first big game I've ever worked on, really. Any other projects have been kind of small and easy to do. Like, I am thinking about introducing systems such as progression systems similar to RPGs and inventory systems. But do not be too disappointed if they do not make their way into the game, because that kind of stuff is really complicated to make, and if I can't do it, and if the coders that I'm going to have working on this game struggle with it as well, then it will be cut. But I'm not going to promise too much, but I will. This is obviously the conceptual stage of the game development, so we're just kind of telling you what we're planning in some ways. So in terms of gameplay mechanics, in the new trailer, you may have noticed that there was some new UI in there, upgraded UI. So we have the ability board, which is patented now. That is what it's going to be called, the abilities board. It may still change design. I'm still not too happy with its design. As you can see, I've changed the design since the last trailer. So I'm probably going to be polishing that really soon. But the UI is pretty much solid. It's pretty much done. The way how I want the UI is pretty much there now. So the abilities board will be changing, so I can't really say, but at the moment it's got abilities such as Rysera, Fireka, and Flare Dash I think is on there. They will probably be changing soon because I'm currently changing about abilities and what abilities are going to be in the game. So the abilities board is mainly there for attacking enemies and stuff. There will be combat in the game, but I've been thinking about it a lot. I don't want it to be the biggest focus about Rise and Phoenix 4. I think what I was always trying to go for Rise and Phoenix was it was a platformer with heavy story, if that makes sense. Now, that's not something I really see often, so that's kind of what I'm going. But the combat is going to be there to kind of give it more variety. That's the whole point of the combat being in there. So I don't know what the combat is going to be like. I don't know how it will be in the final product. So you're going to have to bear with us in terms of that, because it's going to be a bit of an experiment. The combat.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I've been constantly talking about Brad with the battle system, because I don't know, like when I see some concept art, a bunch of sparks just go off in my head, and it's one of the sparks I could kind of say really connected and resonated well with Rising Phoenix and what I've seen is, if you know the game Maple Story, its combat system. I'm looking towards that. Now I don't know if Brad sees it, but I don't know. I kind of feel so. If we could work towards that, a kind of battle system similar, taking elements from that, I think that would be really nice. And that's actually all I have to really say about that.
Yeah, no. In terms of Maple Story, I haven't really been looking at that, but I have been looking at Dust a lot. and I've been playing it a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely, that too.
And for those who don't know what Dust is, it's do they class that as an indie game? I think it is an indie
Dust and Elysian Tale, yes, I think it's an Indian game. Indie game.
game.
Yeah, indie game, and I think it was developed. Now this was actually extraordinary. From what I know, it was kindly developed by one person, and he just took some like sidetracks from another place. But I think it was developed by like one person majorly. So I think that's a lot of inspiration just in its own right. So if we could kind of get that same thing going, we could definitely make this a thing.
Yeah, no, I want to meet the guy who made that game and just personally shake his hand and say thank you. You're a great example for us all.
Brad, knowing my track record, that might as well be a reality. No,
Yeah,
I'm not.
you get anyone.
You want to talk? Wait, can we talk about like some recruits, or like you want to say that for the end?
We'll save that for the end.
Okay.
Right, but before we segue into something else, you may have noticed in the bottom right corner, we have an icon of George, a brand new icon of George, which looks really nice, and it probably will change because I'm never happy with anything. But there is a HP bar and a PP bar. So the HP bar, is obviously a health bar. That is still the health bar kind of works actually. It kind of actually works, but not on enemies yet. But I have got it semi-working. The PP bar is going to be used with the abilities board. So you use an ability on the abilities board, the PP bar will go down, which is, or if you want to kind of raise that back up, you will have to collect these MP orbs. That's what I'm calling them at the moment. There will be these little blue orbs which are scattered across the place. There will be collectibles in the game as well. There'll be these gems you can collect, which will add to your currency. Also, in each level there will be like 5 cosmic orbs. Now, cosmic orbs are carrying over from Rise of Phoenix 3 and another game which I developed called Uncharted Dimensions. Yeah, it's kind of, I like to think of it as a homage to Blue Cosmic Games, which was our original name. I'm just going to keep it in there as kind of a tribute to that, I suppose. But yeah, there's going to be like collectibles and stuff in there, which is really, really, really exciting. And also in the top right corner, you may have noticed a kind of like 4 question marks. I don't know why there's 4 question marks there. That is actually supposed to be a score tally. And when I made the trailer and looked up and it had question marks, I was like, oh well, goddamn. But I'm pretty sure that's going to be something important. I'm joking. It's going to be your currency system. So when you collect money, it will be displayed up there. In terms of money, I'm not too sure, but I think you will be able to purchase upgrades at least, or some form of item. I'm not too sure how that is going to work out at the moment. I'm thinking about having an experience bar in there as well, but that will be something that I will think about adding soon, but I don't know how well I'll be able to implement that. And then lastly, about the gameplay mechanics, there are going to be these little items that you can collect, and these are all inspired by the actual mythical beast, the Phoenix, like how like the kind of powers the Phoenix can like do and stuff like that. So there's going to be these little power-ups that will help you plow through enemies and kind of navigate the level easier. These will be implemented a little bit later on in the game though, or in the development cycle. But yeah, that's all I can really talk about in terms of gameplay mechanics, but that is the most that I've been able to reveal so far. So do you kind of want to segue into story, because I know you kind of have an understanding on the story?
Yeah, so like what I have understanding of the story, without spoiling a lot, because I still want you guys to kind of try it out. So if you could go down in the description below, there could be a link to like the previous game, so you could check those out. But just a nice little overview. Something happens within the latest, the previous installment, which is Rising Phoenix 3, I believe.
Yep.
And towards the end, something happens, and this directly correlates with what happens in Rising Phoenix 4, whether you wake up from something and such like that. I really am trying to not reveal anything, because I can't see Brad's face, so I can't tell if like he should just, because like with Hajime Tabata, from Square Enix, he has someone there directly saying, he's like, no, you cannot say that. He's like, can I reveal it? No, you cannot. So yeah, so I want to leave the story to you a little bit, but just from my very, very generalized overview, I think that's basically what we're going here. It's just a direct, continuation of what happens in Rising Phoenix 3 and what we're going with Rising Phoenix 4 is a lot of growth for George on a more emotional level and characterization level.
Yeah. Right, so if you don't want spoilers, like if you're actually thinking about like, to be fair, the first two Rise of Phoenix games have no story. I couldn't put them in, but they do have story in my head, I suppose. But Rise of Phoenix 3 has full story, so I will talk about Rise of Phoenix 3's story now. So just a quick little, I suppose, can I do a spoiler alert on my own game? Yeah, it's a spoiler alert. I'm going to be talking about the ending to Rise of Phoenix 3 now, so if you don't want to listen to this, then skip ahead a minute or so to get to the juicy Rise of Phoenix 4 stuff. But at the end of Rise of Phoenix 3, George gets trapped in this place known as it's known as the Voids, and he has this massive face-off with Aaron Rock. And Aaron Rock tries to steal his body because of the Phoenix powers that he wants, etc. Just before they, actually there was this one key character in Rise of Phoenix 3, and his name was called Flare. And Flare was the human embodiment of the Phoenix. And whoever the Phoenix is closely joined with, when it becomes a human form, it will become the form of the person that it has a tight bond with, and that person was George. So Flare, unfortunately, he kind of just wanted to get on with his own life, and he kind of wanted to go and do his own thing. Unfortunately, George brutally murdered him in Rise of Phoenix 3. Well, not brutally murdered him, he just kind of told him to go away and like did something to him. Probably not too graphic, I hope. But Flare ended up dying but in the Rise of Phoenix 3 penultimate edition, it's kind of alluded that he didn't die, and that is actually a big factor for Rise of Phoenix 4 in terms of the main antagonist. But I don't want to spoil nothing just now. But in the penultimate edition of Rise of Phoenix 3, there is a secret ending, and the secret ending is a conversation between King Stephen, who has been missing for a long time, and Nexus, and they're talking about George and what to do with him, because at this point in the story, at the end of Rise of Phoenix 3, George's body is kind of not moving. They're kind of very concerned about him. Like, there's an ongoing battle in the mind of George, and we don't know what's going to happen, or we don't know what happens between the time that George is out. But actually, I will talk about that later, because there is a little kind of thing coming out about that. But Rise of Phoenix 4 starts off with George waking up, literally like underneath a tree. He wakes up and he's just like, what the hell? And he looks and he's grown up. He's like 5 years older than what he was. So Rise of Phoenix 4 is set 5 years after 3. He's a lot more wiser now, because there is a lot. He goes through a lot of psychological damage from what Aaron Rock did, and it makes him a lot more darker. It makes him a lot more serious. And not to say he hasn't got a sense of humour, he does. He's still sarcastic, but there's a lot of that has happened which has made him grow as a character. This is the same with Nexus. He's grown as a character. Aaron Rock has grown, but in a different way. But you'll see that in the game. You'll see how his personality has completely done a 180. Which I'm really excited to show you how Aaron Rock interacts with George. As you can see in the trailer, they're actually talking to one another. But although like Aaron Rock put George through like mental hell, yeah, I keep saying a lot today. But in terms of the story, I don't want to give too much away, but it's going to be really cool. And the Council of Ignis is a major part. And this like Cornerian prophecy about it being destroyed in a lightless black, which I actually released a whole trailer on that. The prophecy is really interesting. There's just going to be a lot of twists and turns, and the story of Rise of Phoenix 4 is just going to expand out so much to like future projects, and it's really exciting. The story is going to be really, really good. But do you want to kind of segue into screenshots and stuff?
Yeah, I'll kind of lightly tap upon screenshots, and then you could just take the reins on it, cause I mean, you showed me some screenshots of concept art and some screenshots, in general of the gameplay and everything like that. But yeah, I'll just give it to you afterwards. So like for screenshots, what we're kind of showing right now probably some gameplay, I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
yeah,
Okay,
big gameplay.
so what you're probably seeing is like some nice UI and stuff. So let's just kind of like let me touch upon it from what I've seen before. On the bottom left, you see, the ability board as
Yep,
patented by Brad himself.
yep,
And then on the bottom right, you see some awesome, like, HP and PP, I believe.
yep.
Yeah, PP bar. You should, yeah, why don't you just call it MP bar?
Yeah, no, but then I'm just gonna get roasted because I'm copying Final Fantasy then.
Okay. That's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then we have like, the nice, awesome picture of, well, George himself. And we might be also showing some dialogue, like use, and that's some concept art. That personally, I feel like it looks really nice. Just the look of, like, the chat box and the dialogue just looks very nice, and I think that could be, that's like final product almost ready. Like there's nothing like wrong I could like point out from that. Um, like I said, we're gonna be polishing it to perfection, literally. So it's nice to know that this part is like, this is good. We're gonna have this, and it's gonna be like this. And some, the top right, we've said question mark, question mark is basically the scoreboard, or where the money is displayed. Some nice things I could kind of add, that we might add in the future. It could display the amount of collectibles or stuff you have. Where we plan to kind of go for inventory, but if you can't do it, we can't do it. But so that will display your money, your stuff like that, and maybe if we're good at, like, we might be improving upon how that is shown, whether it's like, a drop down, or like it updates, what I mean. So something of that nature. And yeah, take it away, Brad.
Right. So, another little exciting announcement. I haven't even spoken about this with Aliahsan yet, but I will be after this video. Um, as you all know, you're all watching this on my channel or Aliahsan's channel. I kind of wanted to do a Rise of Phoenix project, which kind of blends in with my YouTube, and this is really exciting. But like I mentioned, after Rise of Phoenix 3, George is lost in an abyss. Like, he's in a personal hell for 5 years. I will kind of be doing a kind of an audio movie thing for Rise of Phoenix, based on Rise of Phoenix 3, and it will basically explain what happened to George during those 5 years while he was out. It's kind of like a really long monologue for George. It's just him and his thoughts. Really, the only two characters which are going to be in there is George and Aaron Rock, because this is in both their minds, and it's something I've been wanting to do for ages, and I just think it's really, I want to see what goes on in George's mind and what he thinks, and this will help people to get to know him as a character better in time for Rise of Phoenix 4. And also it will kind of give you some backstory, because there will be like George will be talking about what brought him to where he is now, and Aaron Rock will give his side. It's just going to be really interesting, and it's going to be quite easy to do, because I'm really only going to need 2 voice actors for it, just like the trailers. And yeah, I've got a name in mind, but I'll be talking about that more in either January or February with an actual title for it, and maybe even it might even be released in like February or something. But yeah, be excited for that, because that is going to be a really exciting project. So now,
Wait, when you bring up voice actors, like, are you gonna use the same voice actors that you used in the trailer? Because like some people have actually come up to me about it. Like, are you gonna replace the voice actors? How will that kind of go about? Just real quick.
in terms of voice actors, I'm going to be staying as George, I think, because I'm starting to get into the voice acting a bit more now, and the Aaron Rock one's definitely staying as it is. But because there's going to be like a crap ton of other characters in Rise of Phoenix 4, so I kind of want to save more voice actors for more characters.
Oh, okay.
So, but let's just segue into talking about the next Rise of Phoenix progress report, if you want to talk about that.
Okay, so announcing the next Rising Phoenix Progress Report, or RPPR. We're gonna be announcing it, kind of for February. We're not gonna be getting a new gameplay trailer, sadly, but that is a kind of high production, and like it takes a lot of time and strains the heck out of Brad. So hopefully you could bear with it. Yeah. But don't worry, we're gonna be bringing a bunch of news for February. Isn't that right, Brad?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be compensating for the fact we have no trailer thought we're just going to be given so much information in February. It's going to be unreal. There's going to be so much, and hopefully we'll have a couple more people on, because we have got a couple planned. Like, we got 2 people planned to be on here, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly. And actually, that's a perfect segue to kind of talk about, the Twitter links and all that stuff. Talking about new recruits and people. Brad, do you want to take it away, or should I continue on?
You can continue on if you want.
Okay, so we are kind of open to getting as much help as we can on this project. As you know, as of currently right now, it is me, Brad, his friend, and then some people I've kind of recruited on, not even on the whim. They're just really close friends, and like I feel like the game we're envisioning right now for Rise of Phoenix, it really has intrigued them, and they kind of want to help us in that venture and that journey. So I don't. Can I announce the names or save it for later? Yeah.
We can save them for later. Let's build up the hype.
Yeah, we could build up the hype. But just a little hint. If you watch the actual trailer, I think we already kind of gave away who's kind of a part of the team.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Cement City. We can talk about
Yeah,
Cement
okay,
City.
so we revealed it. So Cement City, and you want me to kind of go over like the joke that I kind of brought up before
Yeah,
about.
you go for it.
Okay, so what I kind of talk about, like, with me talking to people and kind of just using their talents and inspiring them and motivating them, I'm pretty good at it apparently, because I don't know, it's so funny because, like, it's just amazing just meeting new people. I don't know, I guess I'm very lucky for them to actually reply back to me and just actually interact with me and stuff. Like, just in like the past year, I've met people huge in the community of Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy and my own channel. People that I met Sean Wilcox, an actual person that works on 15, a Square Enix employee that works on Luminosity. So that's top of the bar right now. I'm just waiting on my reply from Yoko Shimomura or Tetsuya Nomura or Hajime Tabata at this point. But just segueing, just primarily on this, it's a little funny story that I have with Brad actually. So I remember one time I asked, Brad used this song in his video once, and I asked, "Oh, what's that song? Like, who wrote it and stuff?" And he gave me a link, and I saw the person. It was Cement City, and a few days later, I have him on like my podcast, and like, I meet up with Brad, and I tell him, I basically tell him, I'm like, "Oh, I got him," and he's like, "Cement City, the guy I just told you about," and I'm like, "Yeah," and Cement City has a pretty nice following, but yeah, he resonated, and I told him about the plan, so it was even crazier to even imagine for Brad, just a guy he used to, just use his music, obviously, uncopyrighted and everything like that, just use his music in his videos to actually be working with the guy itself. So that's just a huge dynamic, and
That
just
was
shows.
amazing. I was just like, I was stunned when he was just like, "Yeah, we got Cement City on board." What?
Like, he's just like, what? And yeah, and Cement City's an awesome guy. He's awesome. He, as you heard from the gameplay trailer, that song is incredible. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't mind if you played this song on repeat throughout this whole progress report. So
To be
yeah.
fair, I might actually do that because you've given me a wonderful idea now.
Yeah, so his song was incredible. Though, for a second I was a little bit doubtful of his ability to actually make us a theme, because looking at his his kind of record, he makes a bunch of dubstep, and that's not exactly what we wanted for the theme. We were kind of looking for a dearly beloved, but he was more than capable, and just giving that direction to him, he blew it out of the park with this song, and that's
Yeah.
incredible. And he's gonna do a lot more tracks for us this upcoming winter break, so that's awesome.
Yeah, no, when I first heard this theme, I cried tears of joy. Like, seriously, that was it was amazing. And to be fair, it was really weird because it's a piece of music for my game, and for a game that I've been envisioning now for at least 2 years, it was just really weird. But just quickly, although we can't announce the other person, which could be on in February, he has actually been on your Modcast series, hasn't he?
Yeah, so that's not really a good hint, you know what? Because I have so many people on Modcast, and not just even people that are stable on board with me, like people that are new, like constant guests. Like you're looking at a good number of 40 to 50 possible people that are working for current Cosmic Games. So have fun, people, have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's definitely been on Modcast once,
Recently.
twice, recently. You know, you don't want to give him too many hints,
Nah,
Brad. You
nah.
know. But yeah, also, you know, I just want to say this one more again. We're gonna be adding Twitter links to my Twitter and Brad's Twitter, because Brad's Twitter is basically the Rising Phoenix Twitter, if you haven't noticed. So
Yeah.
definitely follow him. But if you want to follow me, I don't mind. You know, please tweet at us. I'm begging you, tweet at us if you want to help in our game. You want to help in our game. You want to help us with graphic design, anything coding. Are you good at coding? You want to help us? We are so open to getting help, and we want you guys to help us, because if you guys are helping us, the better the development cycle is gonna go, and you know it's just gonna be awesome, just meeting you guys and everything like that.
Yeah, exactly. And the more help we get, the quicker this development cycle will go. Basically.
Exactly.
But any help is great help. Even if you're just doing one task, one tiny thing, if you're just drawing one sprite or something silly like that, that is enough. That will save me some time, because even the smallest things in terms of game development take time. Even the really small things take a lot of time for me to do. And, you know, any help I
Yeah,
can get is amazing.
guys, with your help, you could possibly save George and his chunky legs. You could possibly save George from not having chunky legs in the final game. Do you really want George to have chunky legs?
You really
I
want
don't
that
think.
awkward eye. That
And
you've
just just adding, hopefully it doesn't count as a bribe, but if you're on the team, you will be getting exclusive, playing rights to this game and its prototype build. You'll be getting a little exclusive preview and everything like that. So I don't want that to be incentive, but just putting that on the table.
Yeah, well, actually, that's perfectly segueing into the next bit, which is talking about a Rising Phoenix 4 beta, which will take place in summer. If you do assist with the game development in any form, then you are automatically put down on the list for the Rising Phoenix 4 beta. The Rising Phoenix 4 beta will pretty much be, at least I'd say, about 80% of the game. It'll probably only be the story mode, actually. Without all the additional stuff, but I need people to test the game out and just test for it. Try and break the game, because I need them bugs gone. So it will be closed at first. I may decide to open it to the public if it's good enough, but I don't think I will. But at the moment, people that are already working on the game are automatically put down on the list for Rising Phoenix 4. For the beta. There will be other means to get onto this little list of mine. This can be this will be something on my channel, or possibly Aliahsan's channel in the future, maybe. We could do challenges or something. If you finish, or if you win the challenge, you can get a code or something. I don't know. But that's just basically what I have in mind. So there is a Rising Phoenix 4 beta coming in the summer. Yeah, really, that's all we've got to talk about, really. That's all we can really say. We're just going to go ahead and outro ourselves now, so do you want to go and outro yourself?
Yeah, man, that was a huge chunk of information that will probably last the audience of Rising Phoenix a while. And if you're new to the game and just everything in development cycle, remember guys, there are previous videos that we have made. There are previous everything. Just check out Brad's Twitter or the Grand Cosmic Facebook page, which is all in the description below. And also, guys, we are people. We are very open people. Tweet at us. We are begging you. Tweet at us. We are very nice people. We don't bite. So it's been Aliahsan. Peace out. Grand Cosmic worker. Confirmed.
Yeah, confirmed now. But yeah, thanks, man. That's brilliant. But yeah, just going off what Aliahsan said. Yeah, come tweet at us. I'm on Twitter constantly, so no matter what time it is. So even if I'm sleeping at 5 o'clock in the morning, I hear my notification going off, then I will reply to you.
What time is it for you right now as you're doing this video?
Actually, it's 2:45 in the morning for me.
Oh my god, it's like 9. It's like almost 10 p.m. for me EST right now.
Yeah, no, I'm probably gonna pass out as soon as this video's done. But yeah, so come tweet at us. I mean, mainly come follow my Twitter and the Grand Cosmic Soft page, because that's where mostly Rise from Phoenix 4 news goes. And to be fair, a lot of the smaller news does actually come out quite a lot on the Twitter. Sometimes I just casually come out with stuff in terms of how the game development is going. Like the other day, I released a screenshot just showing how I basically broke the game for about 5 seconds and I panicked, and then I fixed it, so it was all good. But yeah. But just to outro myself, I've been Super B 1996. If you're watching this on Aliahsan's channel, come check out my channel because I do, pretty much similar content, and plus I do all the Rise of Phoenix 4 stuff. But this has been a really good video. I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. So yeah, quickly before we go, like Aliahsan was saying, the next Rise of Phoenix progress report is coming in February. Dates will be given for when it's going to come out in January. No trailer is confirmed, so when I say trailer, there might be a trailer, but there isn't going to be a gameplay trailer. There's not going to be a gameplay trailer for a while, so this is going to be the last time you see the game in its full integrity for a while. But I will release screenshots in February, so I will give you an update of how the game's looking, so don't worry about that. But no gameplay trailer, but there possibly might be a trailer, but I'll confirm this later down the line. But I've been Super B 1996. Thank you all for watching, and I shall speak to you guys later on.